what words would you choose if you were to choose 2 words to run your year?
I'll do you one better, Percy. I'll give you 4.
Wow! Abby, we are sorry.
Feedback is what makes communication complete, and it's very important at that point.
Yes. Do you think life would be different, like for example here at Kabara, without chaplaincy? Hi, welcome again to the Chaplain's Mic, and this is the 3rd episode of the same conversation I have been having with my friends here, Abby and Ronnie. These were the first friends I made when I started my chaplaincy ministry, and we have had quite a journey with them. Now, the last two sessions that we had, the first episode and the second one, we talked a lot about other students and then the chaplain themselves and how they present. And now I want us to get a little bit personal. I want us to talk about ourselves. And I will start with this one thing. I know when the year starts, we all come up with lots of resolutions and we write things down, and we are always like, I want by the end of the year to have accomplished 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and we write them, we list them down. I used to have journals and keep journals of the same, and then sometimes you get to June and you realize you have not done even 5% of what you wrote. And sometimes we get into this kind of pressure where we are wondering, now where do I start, and am I a loser, am I doing the right thing, will I amount to anything, and we question and so many things in between. Now this year myself, I decided that, and I think I have shared with my students a little bit of this in the sessions that I have had with them, that I decided I'll have 2 words to run with in the course of the year, and those 2 words will help me to maneuver through the year and grow. And one of the words that I decided I would have is courage. And courage because sometimes I see things and I don't speak up about the things that I see. Sometimes I see things falling, but I just let them slide, as they say. And this actually affects the way many things. In fact, I was asking someone just the other day, I wonder whether I am getting wiser or I'm becoming complacent or shrinking when addressing some things. And so I decided I would be very courageous and confident, and conviction and courage is pushing me to do many things that sometimes I would not do. And the other word that I chose is what we call rhythm or consistency. That when I start something, no matter how hard it will be, I'll be resilient enough to keep on keeping on. Now, let me ask you, my friends, when you think about a word or 2 words that you are running with this year, because we are getting personal, and I will tie this on how chaplaincy now will relate to it, what words would you choose if you were to choose 2 words to run your year?
I'll do you one better, Percy. I'll give you 4.
Wow! Abby, we are sorry.
I'll give you 4. So my 4 words are, in bold, live in the moment.
Oh, that's
live in
those 4 words.
Are those 4 words? Yeah, they're actually 4 words.
Live in the moment. I have thought about this, guys. I know there are 4. Live in the moment because after my evaluation, I realized that I have approached life in a very I anticipatory manner, because I plan for the future. I have even contingency plans. If this does not work, we'll do this. If this does not work, we'll do this. And I just sat somewhere and reflected and thought, wow, I don't even take time to soak in what I have as of now. Because what I was praying for a few years back, I have now, but I am too busy planning for the next phase of my life that I don't even get to enjoy this one. And it's really unfortunate because when I was crying to God a few years back, it seemed like impossible for some things to happen. And it is unfair that they are happening and I cannot even give thanks or even enjoy them. So those are the 4 words I chose. Wake up every day, soak in every second, every minute, be the best I can, and maximize whatever it is that God has given me that day. And make sure that when I have to give an account to God for the day I have lived, it will be something that is worth it. Something that is presentable even before God.
Yeah, right. Someone, I saw a comment somewhere. I don't know whether it was a comment or it was a poster, and the person had said, we focus so much on the closed door that we ignore and forget the doors that are open.
Absolutely.
So we are always knocking on the closed one, yet there are open doors, very many open doors around us, and we could use those doors and we could do life better using those doors, because sometimes probably God knows, not probably, sometimes, most times God knows why this door is closed and this door is open. I love your 4 words.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Ronnie, do you have 10 words?
I have 5 words.
We're not doing
I cannot go below the standard.
Wow.
Okay.
So my 5 words would be, what is the first step? Because
Okay.
if you're running with that, if you want to drive a car, the first step is not just pressing on the accelerator. The first step is to switch on the ignition. And that is the first step. You can never drive a parked car or a car that is not switched on. So for me, I'll say, even when it comes to goals, what is the first step of your goals? Because if we look at the bigger picture, it can overwhelm us. But if we come back here, what do we have, and what is the first step that we can take so that we can achieve this goal? Those are my words for this year, actually. Yeah.
Right, that's perfect. And you guys have me, I'm running with my courage and my 2 words, and you guys okay. I'm sorry. So I wanted to ask now, when we think about courage on my end, and I have shared with you as your chaplain that sometimes I let things slide when I should address them. And you know, the book of James actually says, when you know something is wrong and you don't address it, you're sinning before God, you know. And I have also talked about consistency or rhythm. How can you as students support me in that?
Encourage.
Yes. Do you think there's a way you can support me?
I actually do.
Yes.
I actually do, because I don't know whether it is because of working with you at a closer level, but I do see a lot of what you do behind the scenes in order to make sure that the ministry that God has given you is running effectively and efficiently. And I think reinforcing whatever it is that you're doing on this other end, like I have an influence on some part and you do it on some part. So if I reinforce whatever it is that you're doing, of course with the goal that you have in mind, I think it boosts you up. It gives you confidence, because imagine you're courageous and the crowd that you're meeting, they want nothing to do with your courage. So I think there's a part I can play personally in the small circle that I can influence, reinforce whatever it is that you are doing, because I have benefited from it, and I would want nothing more than someone else in my shoes or just any other student to get the same. And I know that if we keep feeding you, or as long as you're nourished, you'll be able to put your best foot forward. And I know that the next person who will be under your care will receive the best. So I think I can support you in that way.
Okay. Ronnie, do you think there's any way you can support your chaplain to be courageous enough and to be consistent?
Yeah, interesting. First of all, a lot of people will approach you from the perspective of drawing from you. I want to go to the chaplain to be counseled. I want to go to get advice. But sometimes we overlook the fact that you're also human beings and you also need our support. And I believe if we come to the point where we also see you, not see you quote unquote, as human beings who also need presence, it will be a game changer. Because we also, as much as we need your presence, we also need to make our presence sometimes, because you're also human beings and you can go through things here and there, and you have to understand that it's not just about drawing out, but sometimes we come to your office with compliments, gifts and all that can begin to encourage you. Yes.
Yeah, what I wanted to bring out is that sometimes as chaplains we think we are quote unquote the perfect people on earth. And the people that we are giving care to, they only need our care, and we don't need them in our space. We don't need their input. We don't need their support. We don't need, it's like they are to be seen and not heard. It is me advising them, it is me giving them instructions on how to live their lives. Now, let me tell you something. As a chaplain in a learning institution, your students also have a role to play in your life, in terms of actually supporting your ministry and working with you. And they do simple things like what Ronnie is saying, just complimenting you, just coming to your office and being there. So do you create space for students to also just pour into you or give you feedback? By the way, can we talk about feedback to chaplains?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you think?
Yeah. I think one of the reasons that your ministry, especially on the real talk sector, has been effective is because you give an opportunity for feedback.
Yeah.
And you actually take this feedback seriously in the sense that, okay, this is what we can correct, we correct it. This is what they have suggested, we correct, but it's not in our capacity, then we'll try to approach it in a different way, or it's out of our hands.
Right.
This is good, so we keep pushing, we reinforce it. So it's one thing to take feedback, it's another to actually act on it.
Yeah.
And when you act on feedback,
Right.
people build trust.
Yes.
They know that the next time we give feedback, it will actually be taken seriously. So I believe that fellow chaplains, you can give a space for feedback
Right.
and take it seriously. Yeah.
Yes, Ronnie.
Feedback is what makes communication complete, and it's
Yes.
very important
Yes,
at that
yes,
point.
yes,
And
yes.
I can just use a story. I remember there's a time we wrote sticky notes.
Yes! I have those sticky notes in my bedroom. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
And one of them, actually, there's somebody who just wrote Pasiwe Nimnoma. So I read it and I was like, oh, Nimnoma. Okay. So actually, some days when I feel so frustrated, because sometimes we feel frustrated and we feel drained, I read those sticky notes.
Wow. Wow. So I believe that was a form of feedback that we gave.
Yeah.
It looked like a small thing, but I can see the reaction. It was a big thing.
Yeah.
So I believe other
Right.
chaplains should embrace taking feedback, but it's also one thing taking feedback is not just positive. There are people who write negative. So having that willingness to also take
Accept,
in and accepting even negative things, which may be true so that you can work on, is very important. But I believe feedback is very important in this profession.
Yeah. So don't just listen to your people. I mean, don't just feed them with information. Listen. Take back, and just sit with them, and that is the whole aspect of chaplaincy. Like, you're giving the ministry of presence. So presence means I can sit with someone and hear them too, and actually hear them without hearing to reply to them. You know the way you can wait for a message, someone is typing, so you're like, type, so that when the message comes in, I already know what I'm going. So sometimes I wonder, and I'm not saying you don't reply to my messages immediately. I'm not saying that. The point I want to make is that sometimes I wonder when somebody is chatting with you and it's a very introspective conversation, and in a second, the message just landed and already you are, I'm not saying, I know some people are fast, they process very fast, and sometimes I just feel like that is what kills the chaplaincy ministry, that we just take in the information and wait to get back. And of course we have this notion where we think we have more information than these young people. Gen Zs actually have more information than they know many things. These guys are so connected, and some of them have their lives. When they wake up, they are in America. During the day, they go to Canada, they go to Cape Town. Like, they are so interconnected and they have a lot of information. So sometimes you're giving them your information with your own scope of understanding without knowing that they could actually have something to help you with. Now, I want to ask you another question that I have been thinking about. Do you think life would be different, like, for example, here at Kabara without chaplaincy?
Definitely.
How different?
Definitely. I think as I mentioned in our first video that there is a sense of security and safety that the Ministry of Presence brings. And as we keep on engaging, I believe we can all agree that you do not have to be there and know what to say, know how to act. For starters, just be there. Because I said I'm in my 5th year of study. So throughout, I've seen my classmates, my friends go through so much. And so much so that even when they will tell me, I would have no idea of where to begin to help them, you know? But I would have confidence in the fact that, wait, there's a chaplain in this institution. There's someone that is actually trained for this. And I believe most of the situations that they managed or we pulled through out with them was because there was someone behind the scenes.
Right.
And as I say, they were maybe just offering prayer, encouragement, reassurance, sometimes going to the extent of even getting in touch with family to know how to best help a student. So I believe it would be very chaotic without a chaplain here.
Right.
Because you can imagine, as you've said, Gen Zs are very informed. And we live in a world where there is an overload of information.
Right.
So imagine you're getting information pertaining your situation from everywhere, but it is wrong.
It's wrong, right?
So everyone around advising you is misdirecting you. So you can imagine where you're going to end up. I believe it would be very chaotic.
Ronnie, what word would you use to describe a situation where, for example, here at Kabarak, we never had chaplaincy ministry?
A word.
Yes. Just what do you think it would look like?
That will be chaos.
Okay.
Because I want to believe in the early 20s, it is a very chaotic life because a lot of young people in the university or campus are looking for themselves. They're looking for their identity. And you chaplains play a very pivotal role when you are there as a figure, first to offer mentorship, to offer spiritual advice, guidance in all areas of life. So in this season where people are just looking for themselves, they don't know what they're doing. Maybe somebody is in drugs, they're just looking for themselves. It is a very key office of the chaplains in an institution because that is actually like the line of defense for young people who are looking for themselves.
Right.
Let's say I have another one. Empty. We will have people that are trained in academia, let's say in the case of this institution, but people who are very empty in terms of spiritually. You know, when I talk about spirituality, I mean the soul and finding your inner self and all of that. Because no one would even care. Because every other person is doing their job. The lecturers are teaching you, the deans of schools are making sure the school is running, the vice chancellor is doing his duty. So the role that chaplains perform is very great. And I believe we'd have individuals that are walking through this earth, they have accomplished what society can define as success, but inside they are broken, they are empty, they have deep-seated issues that they have never addressed,
Right.
and they would make society such an unbearable place
To be. What these students are trying to tell us as chaplains is that we are very important. Is that we are very important and our role is very key. And if you're a chaplain, just allow me to talk to you for a minute. If you're a chaplain and you always look down upon yourself and wonder why are you in that learning institution in the first place, I want you to know that students actually acknowledge your work and appreciate your work. And sometimes they may not voice it a lot. I am glad that Ronnie actually voiced it and they came up with something to tell me that, Pasi, you're doing a good thing. But sometimes we don't get that. But I just want to remind you that you are very important. And students are also looking up to you. They are looking up to you to model faith for them. They are looking up to you to see how an authentic life looks like. And they are looking up to you to just feel encouraged. And so you are very, very important. Now, as our parting shot, do you have anything that you can leave the chaplains with to ponder? Is your parting shot?
Yeah. I was thinking about accessibility and how different it is from availability.
Yeah.
You are available. You you have said that as a chaplain you're available, but how easy is it for students to get access to you?
Yeah.
Because you realize you can be somewhere, but before a student gets to you or a person in need of help gets to you, it takes a whole lot. For example, I can use your example. You're very particular in how students can get to you. Outside your office door, I don't know whether it's still there, you have your number written and you have details. Make sure you text me. So someone knows and you actually respond. So if I'm in need of Pastor Deborah, this is how I get in touch with her. Because for very long, you can be in an institution or a place where you're expected to offer services as a chaplain. People don't know how to get to you. You know, not everyone is confident to knock on your office door and, you know, or the remote thing that Ronnie was talking about. Like, again, learn your audience and make sure that you are actually there offering the ministry of presence that you should be.
Thank you. Ronnie, parting shot, tell the chaplains something.
In an institution, if lecturers are teaching, that is academic. If the management is running the school or the campus, that is management or leadership. If there are counselors, that is the emotional part. If there are pastors or churches around, that is the spiritual part. But now a chaplain bears all these things because you are a person who has to be holistic, because you are affecting not only born again Christians but everybody. So as a chaplain, you are a very key personality in any institution because you are carrying all those things: academic, emotional, social, mental, spiritual, and all that. And I would say that if I'm given an option of either studying theology or chaplaincy, I'll take chaplaincy.
Wow, thank you. Guys, you have heard for yourselves. You're very, very important. And your students value you so much. So I hope that you get encouraged. And thank you for joining me. You are good friends. You're good friends. Thank you for walking the journey. And I have seen you grow. And I'm seeing the growth of you, and it is nice and beautiful to behold. So I hope you keep on keeping on. Until next time, we'll see you. Bye-bye for now.